I want you to show what you've got up your sleeve. I mean, this is something you don't see in public schools, where they don't have a problem with teachers having tattoos or even a beard. All the murals that the school has outside on the exterior walls were made by its students. I had seen it and I said, oh, they must have paid someone to do the murals, the drawings. No. Students of the art teacher did that.
Since it's an international school and that's kind of their model, it's precisely that, to open the children's minds.
In this school, kids from kindergarten all the way through high school have harvesting as a basic subject. They don't have a strictly established uniform. If they want, they can design their own uniforms. The kids have a lot of freedom. Today I'm at Tokyo West International School. It's a private international school. And today we're going to be walking around the school's hallways and the outside area. Honestly, it's a pretty small school, especially if you compare it to a regular public school in Japan. In this building, you'll find everything from kindergarten to high school. But let's start with the place I like the most, my favorite spot here. This is one of my favorite parts of the school. It's the harvest area. These, for example, are eggplants, although they don't have their color yet. But the fact is that in this school, kids from kindergarten all the way through high school have harvesting as a basic subject. Of course, this is a country with a lot of local agriculture, so it's really good for the kids to learn what agriculture is. Look here, a bunch of eggplants already grown. And for example, when they're done growing, sometimes the kids also have cooking classes where they use the harvest when there's a good amount or when there isn't any specific plan for the cooking classes. The kids can freely take vegetables home if they want to take some vegetables. If they have an extra passion, let's say, for everything related to the harvest. They can go to a place where they keep their boots, change into their boots, and come to look at the plants whenever they want. The kids also have that here. They have a lot of freedom. Here, well, it's not the season because this is very much a summer thing. Here's one. This is a goya, which is a kind of super ultra bitter cucumber that's very typical of Okinawa, where my family is from. I like this vegetable. It's very bitter but tasty. In Tokyo, they call this hechima, but in Okinawa, they call it navera. It's like a kind of natural sponge, but edible. It's really tasty. I'm not sure if it's the season or something else, but this area is meant for rice. But anyway, all that straw hanging there would be the rice drying. I don't really know how rice is processed. The kids probably know more, but that's rice hanging there. There you have fruits, but since it's not the season, I don't know what fruits they are. I guess they might have lemons, oranges, I'm not sure, of course. Obviously, there's a gardening teacher who gives them lessons on how to do things, obviously correctly, because even though the kids have quite a bit of freedom, they're not experts at this. I also think that in a school right in the city, it's impossible to have that much space because the land would be very expensive. This school, as it is within the city of Tokyo, but it's a little bit removed, separated. It's more of a rural area, so they can afford to have a large space for crops. Not every child in Japan is lucky enough to have this. Which rural area should I visit next? There's a soccer field, which kids use a lot, and a pool next to it. Well, the pool is empty now because summer is over, but they can also use the pool freely. They can use the fields freely. They have balls to grab all the time. The kids have a great time here. This is the classroom for the 6th graders, and it looks like they're in arts and crafts class right now. They're making models and things like that. How do you pronounce dioramas? It's nice. I love it because just a moment ago they were even singing together and things like that. Very good, very nice. The preschool kids, and I see that half of them are not Japanese, and here it says that, for example, the kids, since they're so little and learn quickly, in a year, they basically already learn to speak English. But you must keep the English, because when I was 5 years old, I went to preschool in Okinawa, I learned Japanese, and after a year, I forgot the language. With Halloween coming, all the decorations are up. I love it, I love it. It's super cute. They have little steps for the bathroom because they're preschool kids, the youngest ones, so they can reach. These are some things more common in Japanese culture, especially in schools. The kids change their shoes. They wear wabaki, which are indoor shoes, and they leave their outdoor shoes at the entrance of the school. Kids of all ages do this. He is Professor Dani, the one who contacted me. So, how is your experience working at this school going?
I'm very happy. The people, the environment, the students are fantastic, and so far they haven't disappointed me.
The day we met, you basically spoke wonders to me about the school, about the leaders. I want you to show what you have up your sleeve. I mean, this is something you don't see in public schools, where they don't have a problem with teachers having tattoos. Even having a beard isn't common. My wife is confirming to me that even beards aren't allowed for teachers in Japanese public schools. And here, not only do you have that freedom, but they're also open-minded. The teachers here are really culturally open.
Yes, I think one of the main things is exactly that, given the international school and its model. It's about opening the children's minds. I mean, that culture where, in the end, as you saw, there's a kid from Bangladesh, some are from Hawaii, there's variety, there are Europeans, Turks. So it's important not only for them to understand that there are different ways of speaking, different cultures, but also that there are 1,000 ways to communicate, to dress. They have a global perspective, and for them to understand how important it is to get to know people beyond just the...
Not to create prejudices.
Exactly, not to create prejudices.
It's super important. This is the first grade boys classroom, first grade of elementary school. Oh, what a nice classroom. It's full of decorations. Well, this is for Halloween. They're little ghosts, right? How nice. The seats, super tiny. Oh. Ha ha ha, it's very nice, the classrooms. They must have had a group class of 4. Surely they must do shapes, group work, and all those things. But how nice, it's full of decorations, everything is about Halloween. They're constantly doing crafts and arts and all that kind of stuff. Here, for example, is the room that's for learning Japanese. I mean, specifically the language. It's not like everyone has, let's say, Japanese as a regular language subject, let's say. But there's a specific room for the kids who don't know enough Japanese, who need to adapt to the country's language. They have their Japanese class here. This is the Japanese classroom because there are kids who, sometimes they recently moved to Japan with their parents, likely speak only English, and are being taught basic Japanese. There's something I love about the world maps sold in Japan. It's that the way the maps are divided, it's like the Pacific is in the middle and Japan is pretty much in the center. So most world maps start here on the left and end here on the right. I find that amazing. In fact, sometimes my wife says something is very Oriental, or rather American Western for everything else. This small room here is what would be the high school. I mean the school, the elementary part. There are quite a few kids and everything, but as for middle school and high school, most parents already send their kids to Japanese schools, fully Japanese. Therefore, the high school students from 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade are all together in one classroom. Obviously, they give them a lot of things at the same time, but certain assignments are divided according to their age and the year they're in. And yesterday I came here to this school, to this classroom to give a talk to the kids, and today we were given permission to record. What do you like about school?
I think it's good to be free. The rest is hachoji, because there's a lot of nature. While you're in touch with nature, conversations happen between different people. You can learn how to do it, you can learn various things at the same time if you want to learn what you like. There's also time to study it. And then you can focus on it because you want to finish this task today, so it's decided. There is a curriculum, but the schedule isn't very strict, so you have time to study what you like.
This school is an international school, so I can talk to many different people, and that's what I like the most.
Something that the kids themselves really emphasize is that the freedom they have is something they really like. In fact, even on camera, they get a little bit more shy. But they were saying that, for example, they love that they can choose what to study, where to focus more in their studies. I mean, basically they said we can study whatever we want to choose. Or for example, about the uniform, they don't have a strictly established uniform. In fact, if they want, they can design their own uniforms. For example, the girls now in high school say, I want to wear a uniform, so I do, but in summer many wore t-shirts instead, since their role is different. Precisely because it's an international school, what happens here is that the local kids learn everything in English. In fact, many of the kids in this school are children of foreign parents. That is, some of the kids were born abroad, others may have been born here, but their parents want to send them to bilingual schools. Oh, look, there are the kids having their, these are the kindergarteners, they're taking a nap. Oh, how cute. So, the kindergarteners are always sent to take a little nap after lunch. And another thing that makes this school very different from others is that since it's a relatively small school, the kids have a lot of freedom. I mean, the whole system at this school is very different compared to other types of schools. I clearly didn't attend a Japanese school. I don't know the differences in detail, but for example, my wife, who's recording me today, told me she would have loved to go to a school like this. Smaller, cozier, prettier, and with so much more freedom. Because here, the kids really have a very relaxed experience.
I also worked in international schools in Spain, and generally international environments are quite similar. In the end, you're working with an educational model that tries to promote that style or that ability to openness to the world. Where I've noticed the biggest difference is in the management. It's in the management, the school leadership, and that's partly why I chose this school. Because in the end, the process of leading a school is very complex. Leading a group of people, a curriculum within a national framework you might have. But here what I've seen is that the owners take innovation very seriously. They really want to see how to improve. What is artificial intelligence? We're inviting people like Naka to explore integrating street education into schools. So it's more like a bond, a union, a school that is a bond of union from which we all grow as a community. And I think that's what keeps me here the most. And I'm very happy because I haven't seen that anywhere else in the world.
Here is the art classroom, which is run by the art teacher, who is Hungarian. And honestly, as a teacher, it seems that she is, I mean, everyone says she's an amazing teacher, because all the murals that the school has outside on the exteriors, all the artistic murals they have, all of them were made by her students. I was amazed. I saw it and thought they must have hired someone for the murals and drawings. No, students of the art teacher did that, and I would also say that maybe the teacher did this, maybe the students did it too. I'm not sure, but at this point, it wouldn't surprise me. The level of the kids is incredible. And one detail, all the classrooms have helmets. In case there's obviously any natural disaster that could happen, an earthquake or whatever, all the classrooms have helmets for all the kids. They were telling me that the little fish over there reacts a lot to earthquakes, and therefore they say it's used a lot for seismic studies and things like that. Because when there's a small change or something in the earth, it reacts a lot and gets nervous, and it's kind of interesting. It's not that they can predict an earthquake, but if it starts to shake a little, it's a fish that reacts a lot to that. And this, for example, is the nurse's office. This is something that's in every school in Japan. All schools have their own nurse's office. She is the person in charge, so if any kid feels sick or something like that, the nurse here is always available to take care of the kids. Or even, obviously, the teachers, if someone feels sick. Emergencies, first aid, and simple tasks. Schools always have a medical room in case something happens. Very, very important. This is the laboratory, the science room. They have lab coats. Obviously, there are helmets in this room too, even though it's not a regular classroom. What is this? Mitochondria? Good. They learn things I have no idea about, and sometimes I even see that they build Legos too. That's good. Yes, all the lab tools, the typical chemicals, materials. Look, these are the event boxes, the lunch boxes. Here, the kids are already done. They eat everything. They eat and leave the plate clean. That's something I love about Japanese education, that here they teach kids to eat everything and they eat it all. Everything, that's something I admire. Just like, let's see, surely there are kids who get full faster, but the important thing is that here they give them all kinds of food. And the school, for example, they also have their own kitchen. They're cooks who cook every day, and they invited us to eat too. There they gave us food. We had rice, a little bit of karaage, fried chicken, canned food, and a bit of apple. If you're still hungry, you can have seconds of food or whatever you want. And a little bit of soup, miso soup, miso soup. Let's eat. The food here is really delicious. Is it good? It's good. The school has classrooms on the first to third floors, while only the fourth floor has, what would be this room which they use to practice, I don't know, school events, dances, or, well, it looks like they're going to do some big decoration here. I have no idea, but it's kind of a multi-purpose room too. On this side is what we see in many anime. What would be the school rooftops? Although, well, this rooftop looks like it can be used for some sport. I'm not sure, but I think they also said they don't use this space. Because if something falls, to go get it, I don't know, a ball or whatever, good luck getting it, because it's on the fourth floor. The school tour was nice. See you next time. Greetings to you, your family, pet, and neighbor. Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you, thank you. I'm so happy. Everyone wrote a thank you letter. Here, look, they even wrote in Spanish, thank you very much for sharing your time and ideas with the kids. They're leaving very... no, Daniel wrote this, the one who knows Spanish, the one who knows... I thought they had written to me in Spanish, but now I realize it was him. Okay, thank you, I'm happy.